Because I think we've got the White writer, I think we've got the guy who can become, because he's getting better with every book. Just like the manager, he's learning his trade, but he really can capture what it is to be a Celtic supporter and what it is to love Celtic, which we all do. And he can become Celtic's Nick Hornby. I've been really honoured that I've had something in his last two books. I've got something in this book, and I wouldn't miss this for anything. There's problems because of Scotland's shame about me coming to the city and protection and all this pish, but I wouldn't miss this for anything. Not going to go on and on. I just think, get up for Paul Larkin, he's the man.
Thanks to Phil there for making up for Jason. The Higgins family got a superstar DJ, world champion snooker player, and I get this kind of, It's really wonderful to be here tonight, actually, and see so many good faces and good people and all that, and I know a lot of you want to win it at Ibrox, but we've got a book to sell, so we had to win it today. But sincerely, the stuff I do, the stuff I write, it's not going to be universally embraced by, certainly not by Celtic. And it's really nice for people to come and support it, because there's always kind of negativity attached with this kind of stuff, and it's because it's real, and it's about fans that are real, and the fans are Celtic. They've always been Celtic. There's probably a lot of people here that are my age that lived through the 90s, and that was a hard time for any Celtic supporter. And if you survived that, and you survived to when we sold 10 in a row, fair play to you, because you've been vindicated in the last few months, as we all know, that we were cheated at every opportunity. And we never gave up. When Rangers were out through their period in the 80s of being crap, the golf courses in Scotland were full. We stood, we fought back, and that's what this book's about. It's about hope. Hope's better than optimism, because if you've got hope, you can achieve anything. It's easy to be optimistic about stuff. When you've got genuine hope in your heart, you can achieve anything, and that's what Celtic did. The first part of the book's about the season 89-90, which was pretty much the start of the Celtic problems, through the old board and all that kind of thing. And it's kind of weird, because when writing the book, it's easy to blame the old board and the kind of death blow we had when Judas decided to sell his soul for 30 pieces of silver. And yet you now know that basically, in that period, when Celtic, for whatever you can call the old board, and they were incompetent and useless and all the rest of it, they played by the rules. And we now know that our rivals didn't play by the rules. And I'd like to mention Fergus McCann in that, because Fergus took a lot of abuse, and it was booed by his own support at a time when he played done everything he could to restore Celtic to proper greatness, on the back of a team that were able to kind of ride over the rules, like Tony McCoy at Cheltenham over the jumps, and so that's what the book's about. And there's also a bit about goals that meant things to people and stuff, and there's a few people, Alan Hosey's there somewhere, like, my favourite goals in it and stuff. And then it's about got me immigrating to New York, and what it was like to watch Celtic in New York, and the kind of the hardships you face and all that kind of thing. But most importantly, as I said, it's about hope. And Celtic, there's always been a feeling among Celtic supporters that you've come out of so many games frustrated, and you've never understood why this happened and what that happened and all that kind of thing. And then, as Phil says, over last season, we should have won the league last season. Bombs and bullets stopped Celtic winning the league last season. And it was good to see the guy that had to suffer that, take all the plaudits today, because, there's a guy that's had to suffer the ugliness of Scottish society, and everybody in here has probably experienced that ugliness. And if you went to school, Brad, I'd be amazed. You know, Celtic, you know, I know there's other supporters of other clubs here and all that, you know, and stuff like that, and that's fine, but with Celtic supporters, it's always been more than a football club. You know, Robert Kelly said in 1961 we were more than a football club. And that's why when we were faced with what we were faced with last season, you know, our manager being attacked and being attempted to murder, and I don't think that should be forgotten, that somebody tried to attempt to murder our manager last season, you know, is that we sat in October at the precipice, and I'm sure there's probably a couple of people here who thought it was, you know, time to sack the manager and move on and that kind of thing. And I'm sure everybody sat at half time at Rugby Park in October thinking that was it all over. Well, I'd love to know what you were thinking at half time today. Because I'll tell you, the reason why this guy has to put up with all this kind of stuff is because he knows the score, and because he's one of us, and because he's a winner, you know. And as Lennon said when he came to Celtic as a player, you know, when Rangers were dominating us physically, mentally, and all the rest of it, his quote was, "No on my watch." And that's exactly what he's brought into it as a manager, and that's exactly what the third part of the book is about in terms of 2007-08, when Gordon Strachan was kind of struggling. You know, he brought Neil Lennon as a first team coach, and Big Jan put the ball in the net against the Huns the last minute. But also, I just finally want to talk about what the book's for. There's 3 charities benefiting for the book, and there'll be a raffle as well tonight that will have a signed talk to Albert Kidd and some original Celtic programmes, and it'll also have a signed cue by the talented Higgins brother. And the 3 charities benefiting for this are Mary's Meals, which helps fight the famine in Sudan. And I'm sure everybody in here is aware, none more so than Phil, about Angorta Moor and what Celtic came out of and what we had to face day by day by day in Glasgow and other places around the world. And it's only in Glasgow that we've had to still fight for that right to be who we are, you know. But it's guys like Phil and Jason and everybody else here that make sure that we do fight and we do still are here. The second part of it goes to children's charities in Scotland called Chaz, and you know, children's always the future, you know. Future's always in our youth, and as Celtic move on to different circles, that's what's going to happen. And finally, the last charity that's going to benefit is the Tommy Burns Skin Cancer Trust. It's incredible for me to see the day, anybody who's at Rugby Park will verify this. Tommy Burns ain't getting charity today. Tommy Burns epitomised Celtic, you know. Tommy lived it and he died it as well. But he done it with proper dignity, no dictating dignity like the Huns trying to put over. And that's important because we as Celtic supporters have had to face in our lifetime persecution and all sorts of discrimination and all that. But here we all are now, 6-0 at Rugby Park. We're all here, we're all smiling, we're all still fighting, and that's a testimony. Every single person in here and every single person that goes out and represents Celtic every single day, because it's no easy in Scotland, and I hope that you all continue that fight, because I tell you right now, we're on for a period of domination that will be a I'd like to pay tribute to God. I'm not religious, but I did pray to him and say, you know, if our people wants to go well, I need us to win the league and Rangers to die. So, thanks, God.